Today, let us take a look at how the Boston Tea Party sparked a nation's fury. Yes, I'm talking about the Boston Tea Party, the famous protest where American colonists disguised as Native Americans boarded British ships and dumped 92,000 pounds of tea into the Boston harbor. But there's more to the story than just that. Let me tell you. You see, by the 1770s, the relationship between Britain and its North American colonies was going down the tubes. It was because he and his parliament had been taxing the colonies without giving them any representation in parliament. So, as a result of this taxation without representation, the colonists were getting pretty peeved when Britain passed the Tea Act in 1773, which granted the East India Company a monopoly on tea sales in the colonies. The colonists were furious. They saw the tax as a way for Britain to get back at them for their growing list of grievances. And they weren't gonna take it lying down. That is when a group of brave colonists, known as the Sons of Liberty, hatched a plan to boycott all British tea. They formed a secret society and made an oath to resist British tyranny. And let me tell you, they meant business. On December 16, 1773, a group of about 100 men boarded 3 British ships docked in the Boston harbor and demanded that the ship's officers surrender the tea. When the officers refused, the men began throwing tea chests overboard. And before the night was over, 92,000 pounds of tea was at the bottom of the harbor. News of the Boston Tea Party spread like wildfire throughout the colonies. It was a pivotal moment that escalated tensions between Britain and its colonies, and it ultimately led to the American Revolution. The British government responded to the Tea Party with a series of punitive measures known as the Coercive Acts. They closed the port of Boston until the East India Company was compensated for its lost tea. They also passed laws that allowed British officials to be tried in England rather than in the colonies. But the colonists weren't having it. They saw the Coercive Acts as a tyrannical attempt to punish the colonies for daring to defy the crown. And so the road to revolution continued. So remember, the Boston Tea Party was more than just a protest. It was a turning point in the relationship between Britain and its colonies. It was a moment when the colonists showed the world that they were willing to stand up to the most powerful empire in the world and fight for their rights. And that's why we remember it today.